Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Internet Nerd Explains. And in this episode, we're going to unpack all that AI does entail and really why we are confusing it with what it is not exactly. Now, have you noticed that these days, whenever someone says AI, everyone almost thinks of ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini or some AI image generator or one of these AI tools in general, right? Now, what if I tell you that you've been wrong all along and that is not exactly what AI means? Then actually, there are chances that you've been using AI for years, long before ChatGPT even came to being, right? Say from Gmail detecting spam before it reaches your inbox to you using Google Maps for whatever, or Netflix recommending a movie you end up liking, or even every time your phone predicts the next word before you type it. Those are all AI use cases, and I'm damn sure you've used all this long before the advent of ChatGPT in late 2022, right? Somewhere along the way, we have started using the term AI to mean just one specific type of AI, which is generative AI or Gen AI, as you'd see in many cases. And while that might seem like a tiny difference, I think it has created a lot of confusion about the technology we're really talking about. So in this episode of Internet Nerd Explains, we're untangling all of that. And by the end of this video, you get to understand why AI is an umbrella and why generative AI or Gen AI is just one branch of that umbrella. Once you understand that, conversations about AI will start making a whole lot more sense for you. So let's get into it, starting with the first question. Correct. A lot of people think AI suddenly appeared in 2022 when ChatGPT launched, but that is not exactly true once again. However, I would say that is just when generative AI became more mainstream. Key term, generative AI became more mainstream, but we'll get into that proper, right? But AI, that is artificial intelligence as a field, has been around for decades. Long ago. We've definitely interacted with AI almost every single day without even realizing it. From the Gmail example I gave earlier, when it automatically moves spam out of your inbox, to Google Maps predicting traffic or helping you find your way, to Netflix recommending your next binge list or compilation, or even Spotify building this your weekly or daily discovery playlist, which I'm always looking forward to, by the way, because it does seem to know me so well. These are all AI at play, actually. And I've also mentioned your phone predicting the next word that you're about to type being an age-long use case of AI as well. So even something as seemingly trivial like autocorrect and spell check have relied on AI and machine learning techniques for years. So it's not like AI suddenly arrived with ChatGPT. I would say what changed was our awareness of AI, not that it just suddenly arrived. Our awareness of it has sort of changed over time. I mean, before ChatGPT, AI mostly worked quietly in the background. It will only just recommend stuff to you, predict stuff, classify stuff, filter information and stuff. But you never had to think about it because you were not interacting with it directly. Then ChatGPT and the others happened from late 2022. And for the first time, you, me, as well as millions of people could now sit down and literally have a conversation with AI. And that will now go on to change absolutely everything. So it's not like AI is this new overnight invention. It just became a lot more visible. And to some extent, or to a very large extent, actually, it became more democratized as well. You, me, every random Joe can literally use AI right now. That is why it seemed like this very new invention, when in fact it has actually been on for a while. But I'm going to explain that properly very soon. And also, I think that is where a lot of today's confusion is stemming from, for the most part, because the minute ChatGPT and the others exploded in popularity, people started using the term AI to describe this one specific type of AI, because that seems to be the one that they have been exposed to and have interfaced with more directly and personally. That's sort of why people now use AI to make, or ChatGPT and the likes, right? But as we're about to see, the families of ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and the likes are only one branch of a much bigger family in the AI world, or in the AI kingdom. So I hope this maybe sets the tone for how this discourse will go as we go into the next question. Right. Now, the easiest way to think about AI is as a family tree. Now, what do I mean by that? Say I asked you what counts as an animal. Give me types of animal. Yeah, maybe what counts as an animal. Of course, you say dogs and cats and birds and fish and the likes, right? Now, they're all different but belong to the same animal family. That is exactly how AI works as well. Artificial intelligence, that's AI, is not one single monolithic technology. It's a broad field that consists of lots of different branches, with each of them designed to solve very different kinds of problems. Now, one branch can be really good at recognizing patterns. Another branch can be good at making predictions. Another branch could be great at helping computers understand human language, while another can also recognize maybe images and faces. And then the newest one, which is the one we're now very familiar with, which is like the most popular branch, is now what is called generative AI, which is the technology behind tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and Midjourney and all that jazz. So you'd be surprised that platforms like Grammarly, Google Maps, Spotify have all been leveraging AI long before now, but it's just not the same kind of AI like we have with ChatGPT and Claude also. That's why if you notice this platform, when they want to talk about AI of these days, they'll say Gen AI. They don't just say AI because they have been using AI long before now. It's just Gen AI that is now very much newer, to the populace, right? Another example I will give is, say, with cars, for instance, right? The way a Formula One car, a pickup truck, an ambulance, and a family SUV, these are all vehicles, right? But nobody expects them to do the same job. That's exactly how AI is. Generative AI is just one type of AI. Recommendation systems are another type of AI. We also have spam filters. We also have navigation systems and, what have you. So while they're all part of the same AI family, they are built for completely different purposes. That is why there's just many confusion in mainstream conversations about AI. Now, we've started using the word AI and generative AI interchangeably, like they mean the same thing. But I'm telling you now, they don't exactly mean the same thing. Gen AI, generative AI, whenever I say generative AI, I mean Gen AI. So Gen AI is part of AI, or a type of AI, just like dog is a type of animal and truck is a type of vehicle. So when you understand this, you start seeing AI virtually everywhere, and not to say, or not because it suddenly starts appearing, but because it has been there quietly. It's been quietly powering many of these digital products we use every single day since God knows when, but we just don't identify them as AI. You understand? Actually, this is the part that fascinates me the most about the whole AI discourse. It's not like technology suddenly changed. What changed is the language, right? For decades, AI, or artificial intelligence, referred to this huge field of computer science that included everything from recommendation systems and speech recognition to computer vision and machine learning and all that jazz, right? Then in late 2022, ChatGPT happened. And for the first time ever, hundreds of millions of people were no longer just using AI in the background. Like I'd mentioned before, we're now talking to AI, literally. We're not just using it. We could now ask AI questions. We could watch it write essays. We could watch it generate code and create images and summarize documents. And it almost felt human. Like it felt like having an assistant, basically, right? And because ChatGPT became one of the fastest growing consumer products in history, the media and companies and creators, basically everyone started calling it AI. That is why it's just like when there's some even examples I might have in my head about, like, say, consumer goods and the likes. Maybe how you call toothpaste Maclean. A lot of people generalize toothpaste for Maclean, right? I think that's sort of why this has now become this. So now we have this situation where the public started to treat generative AI and AI like they mean exactly the same thing. But I'm telling you again, they do not. There's Gen AI, there's AI. Gen AI is a sub of AI. AI is the umbrella term. Gen AI is right under it. You get what I mean? I mean, for instance, again, you don't call every social media platform TikTok. You don't call every soft drink Coca-Cola. So why would you call every, stuff about AI? Or ChatGPT or the likes, right? But then I understand this phenomenon of something getting so popular that it starts to mean differently for the masses, and it's nobody's fault, really. Many people learn about technology through headlines and social media and YouTube videos and the products they use. Not everyone is a computer science graduate. So when everyone around you uses the word AI to mean ChatGPT and the likes, that's basically the definition you adopt. So which is exactly why conversations like this are important, because the better we understand the language, the better we understand the technology. I hope this is clear for you. Now let's have the next question. Yeah, there's probably a lot more than you think. Let's start with your phone, right? The times you type a message and your keyboard would suggest the next word before you even thought of it. That is AI. There's also the case of, would you remember taking a photo and your phone will instantly recognize that it was a dog or a beach or your best friend? That is also AI. And I'm damn sure you've noticed this long before the advent of ChatGPT, right? I had this where I actually cleared up my phone today, and the phone on my phone like already created folders for utility bills, for illustrations, and just automatically. That was interesting to me to. I think I just found out about that this morning while actually working on clearing my phone. So yeah, there's also the spam folder in your email, right? Every day, AI is quietly looking at millions of emails and deciding which ones are likely to be spam and which ones should reach your inbox. You probably never thought about this, but it is working in the background all the time. There's also the case of Google Maps, right? When it tells you that there's crazy traffic on your usual route and it suggests a faster one, I mean, it could land you in trouble sometimes, but that is AI analyzing huge amounts of traffic data to predict which routes are likely to get you there the quickest. But just like generative AI, it doesn't always get it right, but it does its best, right? When you ask me what about Netflix and YouTube and Spotify and the likes, that's right. I mean, when they recommend the next movie you should watch or, video or song you might love, that is all AI trying to predict what you enjoy based on your habits and the behavior of millions of other users. Have you also noticed Amazon recommending products that are strangely relevant to you? That is AI, my friend. Have you ever unlocked your phone with Face ID? I mean, come on, we all do that. That's yeah. What about translating text instantly with Google Translate? That's AI as well. Even Grammarly, long before it introduced features that could write entire emails for you, it was already using AI and machine learning to check spellings, grammar, punctuation, and suggest better ways for you to phrase your sentences. I've been using Grammarly for as long as like 2017, 2018, right? The difference is that most of these systems don't create brand new content. They would predict and classify and recommend and recognize patterns. They are basically working quietly in the background to help software become smarter. But that is why you hardly thought of them as AI, because you didn't feel like you were talking to an intelligent machine until ChatGPT arrived. Now AI stopped being behind the scenes and took center stage, as I would say. AI is now sitting right in front of you and having a conversation and giving you stuff, like actual stuff. That is why you think AI appeared from nowhere. But no, AI didn't just appear from nowhere. It just became much more impossible to ignore now. I hope that answered your question. Now let's have the next question, which should be the final one, I guess. So yeah, I think the takeaway from this episode is that AI literacy is becoming as important as internet literacy once was. Some 20, 30 years ago, people were just beginning to understand the internet, and back then there were basic questions everyone eventually had to learn. You had things like, what is a browser? What is a website? What is an email? What is a search engine, right? Those were new concepts at the time, but today we barely think about them because they've become part of everyday life. I think we're entering a very similar era with AI, and the questions are changing. Today or in the next few years, you're going to have things like, what is AI? What is machine learning? What is generative AI? What is an AI agent, right? While this might sound technical today, I believe they're going to become a part of everyday digital literacy very soon. And of course, not because everyone needs to become an AI agent or an AI engineer or whatever, but because these technologies are increasingly shaping how we work, how we learn, create, how governments are regulating technology, and even how society debates what's acceptable and what is not. If you check our previous episode on data centers and communities, you understand what I'm talking about here. So that is why I think getting the language right is very important. It's very fundamental, and that's why I'm sort of clearing this air very much early in our channel and in our curriculum and all that stuff, right? Saying AI and meaning generative AI is like using just one word to describe ChatGPT, spam filters, Google Maps, recommendation algorithms, self-driving cars. So if we use the same word to describe all these things, we would risk having conversations where everyone is using the same term but talking about completely different technologies. That is not exactly cool. So personally, I think Gen AI deserves to be discussed on its own, especially because it raises very important questions around creativity and copyright and education and jobs and misinformation and even the future of human expression. Those are very different conversations from talking about Google Maps helping you bypass traffic or your email automatically filtering spam, which, as we should understand now, are all AI, but just not the same kind of AI like Gen AI. AI literacy begins with someone saying, AI in a conversation, and instead of automatically thinking Gen AI like ChatGPT and the likes, you'd ask, which type of AI are you talking about? So I have a feeling this is going to become one of the most valuable forms of literacy over the next decade. But hey, that's just me. I would like to know what you think, what your thoughts are. Has the term AI become too closely associated with ChatGPT and her friends, or is this just how language naturally evolves? Speaking of languages, I think I have something for you in terms of how languages are actually evolving, because there's some words or languages that I just have in mind. But in the absence of anything else, kindly let me know in the comment section. And also, if you've got another question you like Internet Nerd to answer, let us have it below. And in the absence of anything else, once again, bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.